What is up, guys? So a whole bunch of new photos have been released for The Flash Season 5 Episode 1, as well as a poster. They released 19 photos plus a poster. So if you want to see all these photos, link will be in the description down below, in a link to a gallery of all these photos, minus the poster because it's not included. But if I forgot to put it in the link in the description below, definitely remind me in the comments because I do forget those links sometimes. So in this video, I'll go over these promotional photos as well as the poster. I will start with the poster. These photos don't give much away, but there are things that I haven't talked about, like the XS suit and the villain who's going to be in this episode. The promotional photos do give us our first look at that villain. I'm pretty sure it's our first look, so I will go over that in this video, starting with the poster. So I said I'm going to go over the poster from the new poster that was revealed today or yesterday. I don't know when I'm going to post this video, but this poster looks really cool. I think the main reason it looks so cool is the color of it. Usually the Flash posters are very red. They don't have a lot of color to them. This one has yellow and purple, and that's really it. But it has purple and yellow, and it makes it look so much more eye-popping, or it pops more to the eye than most posters. I think it's a way cooler poster than the one that we got before, which revealed the Flash Season 5 costume in a not too spectacular way. But I think in this poster, Barry, his costume does look a little bit better. The chin strap not being there, still a little weird, and I think the helmet also looks a little different as well. Like the lighting doesn't go all the way down, which again is so weird. But in this light, I think the color shade of the red looks great in this poster. In the other costume poster, it looked a little bit too dark. But here, it actually looks really good. This is one of my favorite Flash posters ever because it's so pop. It pops so much because of the color, and I really like it. I think this should be the main poster for the season, and the costume poster shouldn't be anymore. So I've never actually had the chance to talk about XS's costume before in a video. I mean, I guess I have, but I just haven't talked about it yet. I waited probably till now, and I'm going to talk about it here. I think it's a really cool looking costume, especially for like the first costume of a superhero. Usually superheroes in the Arrowverse at least do have a lot of costume updates, and I think Nora Allen should get a costume update in the future. But as for her first costume, if it is her first costume, I don't know, but her first costume we've seen, it's definitely really cool. I love the symbol, the fact that like it goes a little bit up from the circle. I think it looks really cool because of it, and the fact that it's like an homage to the actual XS from the comics, who is a different character. And, well, she's not a different character. She might be like a combination of a couple different characters. I've said this before, but Nora Allen as a character is an amalgamation of 4 different characters. She has the superhero name as well as the costume, or the costume is inspired by, but she has the superhero name of XS, aka Jenny Ugnaughts from the future, from the Legion superhero. She has the name, as in the real name, of Nora Allen, who is the Flash, Barry Allen, and Jessica Cruz's daughter in a possible future in the comics. That wasn't a real future, but it was just a possible one. So she has her name. She has the parents of Dawn Allen, which is Iris and Barry, and she has the storyline of Bart Allen, which is the fact that she came back in time and she's stuck back in time. She probably came back in time to save Barry from something. So that's the same thing as Bart Allen. So she's a combination of 4 different characters, which is something I really like. You don't really see that in her costume because it's mainly just Jenny Ugnaughts, aka XS's costume. But I actually really like the fact that she's really a combination of a couple different characters. Still, though, I would like to see Bart Allen on the show in the future because I think he is like a much bigger character than the other 3. And even with her being here, I think Impulse, aka Bart Allen, could and still should be a character on The Flash. Either way, her costume looks really cool. Still could use an update in the future, but for now, I think it's a really great costume. Moving on to the rest of the promotional photos, we see this one right here of Caitlin, Cisco, and Ralph at a crime scene. The device that Cisco is holding, I think that's the Speed Force detection device. I don't know why they would need to detect the Speed Force. They did that in Season 4 in the beginning because they were detecting where Barry was, I think, or where the Speed Force opened up on the bus, which created the bus metas. I'm pretty sure they used this same device. I don't know why they would be needing to detect the Speed Force here. Maybe something to do with XS, aka Nora Allen. Maybe that's something that happens, but what's really interesting about this photo is that Ralph is at a crime scene, which is something that they said, the showrunner said, or somebody behind the show said, that Ralph will be getting more of a look into his detective side this season, which is something I'm honestly pretty excited for because in the comics he is a very big detective. He is one on the show as well, He was a private investigator. I think he was a detective on the CCPD, but he didn't actually get to do any detecting because he was too busy running away from the Thinker and becoming a hero in the previous season. So this season, the thing that he's going to do is be a detective, as well as him and Cisco are going to hang out a lot, apparently, which is something I'm honestly pretty excited for, because I think those two characters are some of the better characters on the show, and seeing them interact will probably be very interesting. But Ralph's detective side, also very excited for that as well, something that I'm actually pretty intrigued by this season, and I'm pretty excited to see how that turns out. We see this photo right here of Barry in his Season 1 costume. I said this before, but I don't understand why he's in a Season 1 costume. It's been confirmed that it's not a flashback by the last Arrowverse trailer where he talks to the cops, the cop says, "Are you in your old suit?" and then he replies, "It's a bit snug." Now, I like that or it's tighter than I remember. I like that interaction, but that does confirm that this isn't a flashback, which I thought originally it was, which, again, I said this in the previous video, but I don't understand why he's in his Season 1 costume. If anything, it would be in his Season 3 costume. Season 4 costume was destroyed, but the Season 3 costume, like with the white symbol, that would make more sense for him to be in. Either way, I think this photo, for some reason, looks so cool. I don't think I've ever seen the Season 1 costume look this cool in a picture. It might be because it's an updated version. It might be like the lighting and the pose, but I think it's a really cool looking picture. And honestly, the Season 5 costume has never looked this good in any picture, which is very worrying for that costume. Either way, I think this is by far the best looking picture of the Season 1 costume, which again is so weird to say because, like, it's been 4 years since that costume has been a thing, so it's weird that now they get the best picture ever of that costume. I don't know, it's just really, really weird. So, this promotional photo right here seemingly reveals the villain of this episode. I do not think this character was actually confirmed, but apparently this is Gridlock. Now, in the comics, Gridlock is an Impulse villain, which is pretty interesting because, like I just said, Nora Allen does share a storyline with Impulse, so it's pretty interesting that they're using one of Impulse's villains. Now, what this character does is that he has basically a technology that he developed, and they might like make that into his metahuman powers. That's very possible, but he can like absorb the kinetic energy of people and leave them, I think, paralyzed, but in a stasis for about an hour, which is pretty interesting. I'm pretty like excited to see what they do with that. I don't know if that affects speedsters the same way. It might like slow them down like the Turtle did back in Season 2, but it might also actually leave them in a stasis, which would be pretty bad for those said speedsters, unless if XS has a extra ability. I don't know if to get rid of Gridlock, but that's who this character is. It's pretty interesting that they're using a Impulse villain. It's also pretty interesting that they're using such a minor villain. He's appeared in like one comic book, and that was to fight Impulse, who Impulse doesn't really have the greatest rogues gallery. 5 seasons in, they've used basically every Flash villain, so they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel, as in terms of villains of the week. And Gridlock is what they're using this time around to introduce us to, or to welcome us to, this new season. I kind of like his power set, so I'm actually kind of excited to see what they do with it. So that is my breakdown of the promotional photos from the Season 5 premiere of The Flash. Let me know, out of all these promotional photos, which one is the most intriguing to you. Like, which one of them is the most exciting to you in terms of what it shows, and what do you think of the poster that I showed in this video? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.